Hello and welcome to today's episode of Filling the Gap, your one-stop shop for Pacers Gap Year coverage. I'm your host, Andrew Schreiner, and today we're breaking down the Pacers' 152-128 loss in Salt Lake City, in which both teams scored a season high in regulation. So the Pacers started fast, which had been a problem. They'd had some rough first quarters. They got out to a 20-10 lead, but at that point, Utah's offense began to click, and a lot of that, some of it was some defensive issues for the Pacers, but a lot of it was just that they got strong shooting performances from Lauri Markkanen, rookie Ace Bailey, who had his best game of his career so far, and Svi Mykhailiuk. And so they got hot. They shot really well from three and led 70-57 at halftime, which you felt okay about the offensive effort because the Pacers have been struggling so heavily on that end, but you just can't give up 70 points in a half and expect to win. But the Pacers, but then you still have a chance. You're only down 13. Utah came out of the half, though, and delivered a 44-point third quarter. The game was out of hand. And so in the fourth, it sort of fizzled to an end at the final score of 152-128. So some noteworthy pieces about the game. Jeremiah Robinson Earl and Tony Bradley started the game. They went with a new lineup there. Jarris Walker moved back to the bench. Robinson Earl starting in his place. Tony Bradley starting in Isaiah Jackson's spot. Andrew Nembhard, in his third game back from the shoulder strain, had his best performance so far. 25 points, 7 assists, and he shot 60% from the field and 50% from three. He was 3 of 6 from behind the arc, which is good to see him starting to settle in, get his feet under him perhaps. And then what fans were so excited to see, TJ McConnell made his season debut, and he looked good. He had 6 points in his first 4 minutes. He ended the game with 12 in 11 minutes, which I think was intentional. After the game, he did talk about feeling good out there, but still getting into game shape. Obviously, missing about a month here with that hamstring injury. It's going to take him some time to bear his normal load. So my analysis of the game is that it really went counter to expectation. Both these teams were in the bottom 3 in points per game coming in. And so you were expecting maybe kind of an ugly game, a poor shooting performance from both teams, but it was the opposite. It was obviously an offensive clinic from both teams, but especially from Utah. And so focusing on the positive, the Pacers offense was finally clicking, which was good to see. There's no doubt in my mind that corresponds with having their planned point guard duo, with Nembhard running the point with the ones, TJ McConnell coming off the bench to facilitate for the second unit. Those two occasionally playing together. Monte Morris also got quite a few minutes, and he looked okay. But, of course, the game was lost for the Pacers on the defensive end. They shot well, and so there are just some nights where that will happen. Lauri Markkanen especially was difficult to handle for the Pacers. But if you were pointing to one stat, one thing that's really been a bugaboo for the Pacers all season, the Jazz shot 35 free throws. Pacers are simply sending teams to the line too much. Their perimeter defending is not strong enough to keep teams out of the paint, and their paint defending, their defense around the rim, is not good enough to alter shots without fouling. And so they are pretty high in the league in blocks per game. They're getting blocks. They had 6 last night. But some of that is a numbers game, that the teams are getting to the rim so much. And so, yes, you'll end up with blocks, but you're also ending up with a lot of fouls and teams shooting a lot of free throws. That is the bugaboo for the Pacers to clean up, especially if with the point guards back that they can start to score at least a league average rate, right? You're not expecting this team to be an offensive juggernaut, but if they can be league average, I think this can be a winning team. So the Pacers, next up, they conclude their road trip in Phoenix on Thursday night. The Suns currently sit at 6-5. They'll be on the second night of a back-to-back after playing Dallas on the 12th. So maybe you can catch them a little sleepy, a little tired, perhaps, and steal at least one on this 4-game road trip. The Suns are still led by Devin Booker all these years later. He survived a lot of different iterations of the Suns. It's sort of a new look team after the Kevin Durant trade this summer. He, though, is doing what he's always done. He's averaging 28 points per game so far this season. I do think Phoenix, kind of looking at the stats at least, is who their record says they are. They're 17th in points per game. They're 12th in points per game allowed. I think this is an average team. I think they have talent. They have good players. But it's a winnable game for the Pacers, especially on the second night of a back-to-back for them. We'll see how it goes against Dallas, whether they have a chip on their shoulder or whether they're feeling good, maybe possibly cruising into the game a little bit. But this is one that I think is a winnable game for the Pacers. And you really want to get, obviously at this point, every win is going to count significantly, being now 1-10 in your first 11. You need to start picking up wins and start picking them up quickly so this season does not spiral out of control. So, thank you for watching today's episode. Be sure to like this video, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you to discuss the Pacers and the Suns on probably Friday. See you next time.